Veteran was taken away by police. We're not sure at this stage whether it is an arrest. We're certainly getting to the bottom of it to figure out what was happening. This happened mid our interview with him. Our reporter Jade Lee Polser, right in the middle of the interview with Carl Niehaus as he was expressing his support for the former President Jacob Zuma, just outside the prison there. You were talking to him and suddenly we saw a group of policemen sort of taking him away, whisking him away during our interview. What happened? Talk to us about that, Jade.
Yes, Flo. Well, we're trying to be very careful with the wording that we're using, whether it was whisked or whether he was arrested. We do know that the police came and took him from that interview that I was conducting with Mr. Niehaus, but supporters are actually following the police van, the police car that he was put into. I am joined by Mishak. He's telling me that Mr. Niehaus was actually taken to a local police station. Mishak, what information have you got from supporters that are following that particular vehicle?
It's that they want to make sure that whatever happened to Comrade Carl Niehaus is safe. They want to make sure that, and they get to understand as to the reason for the whisking away or the arrest, the abrupt arrest of Comrade Carl. What will that be? Because frustrated members of the ANC are craving for leadership in the time when the NEC is not available to guide our masses. The NEC is not available at a time when one of our prominent leaders, prominent liberation fighters, has been arrested. Carl Niehaus is the sole person that has been staying here in KZN and making sure that whatever revolt and the negative energy that is amongst our people is managed and is directed. He's been providing leadership. Now, for whatever reason, the cops seem to have received an instruction to remove Carl Niehaus from the space. But I guess he is the pain somehow to the ANC, NEC, because on our way yesterday here to KZN, we received his suspension from Comrade Jesse Duarte. And maybe them seeing him at the forefront addressing ANC members who are frustrated, but who have yesterday decided to establish a Release Jacob Zuma campaign, and who are gathered today observing the regulations of the level 4 safely and in an organized manner and peacefully, as we have seen, are being harassed.
I just want to come in there, Mishak. Was there any altercation prior to our interview with Mr. Niehaus, or did police speak to the crowd and say that they need to, disperse? Or just give us a sense of why the abrupt whisking away or imminent arrest. If you can just talk to us, was there any clashes prior to our conversation?
I would quickly tell you that last night when we were saying our bye-byes to Msholozi, we agreed to come and see him on his first day in prison. We were driving with Carl Niehaus from La Lucia. I drove with Carl Niehaus up to here because of that agreement that we had with Baba to come and see him. Now, when we came here, we found other comrades that are here. And Carl Niehaus decided to address the comrades so that there is no violence, there is no behavior that is unbecoming. He decided to coordinate and organize them so that there is order. And throughout his arrival here, he's been addressing the people around here and telling them to observe the regulations of level 4 and make sure that they don't disrupt anything here and make sure that we all behave accordingly. That's what he's been doing. And in the process, you guys as the media were interested to talk to him about his role and the banner under which you are coming here. And that's what he's been doing. Whilst he was addressing you in particular, the police came in numbers and they grabbed him away from you. Literally, nothing else he has done. I'm a witness. I was with him from our hotel to here. I was with him. He has done absolutely nothing, and you can ask any individual. There was no uprising. There is no disobedience of the level 4 regulations. There's absolutely nothing. But what we are witnessing is the return of the apartheid style shutting down of the freedom of speech. All the rules and regulations of apartheid are being brought back door, and we are being harassed because we are not allowed to express how we feel about our leader.
Mishak, I'm going to let you go so that you can answer that call and we can find out and get some more clarity just in case it's supporters trying to update you as well. Flo, that was Mishak. He has been at the forefront with Carl Niehaus in support of former President Jacob Zuma here at the Estcourt prison. We're still trying to get clarity whether he was indeed arrested or whisked away by police. As you heard there, Mishak is trying to establish some sort of connection with the supporters that actually are tracking that vehicle. It is being said on the ground that he was taken to a local police station. Flo.
All right, Jade, let's leave it there for now. You'll certainly be able to get us some more details, but certainly our breaking news story at this time. Carl Niehaus, MK veteran, taken away by police. And of course, as we said, we are being careful about that wording, whether it is that he was whisked away, whether he was arrested, but it certainly does indicate that he, all indications seem to be that he was arrested, as he is indeed being taken to police custody at this time. Jade, we were still talking about the former president. Let's go back to that. I mean, before you were sort of rudely interrupted there, but you know, I heard now that there was a plan for his close family and of course friends to see the former president at the prison, and I wonder if at the Estcourt prison, and I wonder if they've been able to do so. Certainly that was the plan, as it seems, for Carl Niehaus and others to indeed see him on his first date. I mean, what do we know at this stage of whether or not the former president has been able to see visitors?
Well, Flo, you know, we have had several teams on the ground. Samkele Maseko was here for the better part of the morning, just monitoring that, where they also engaged with Justice Minister Ronald Lamola, just talking to him about the conditions and, you know, how former President Jacob Zuma will be held at this particular facility. When we did arrive, it was fairly quiet, so I can't exactly say whether former President Jacob Zuma's family members did indeed come and visit him on his first day, or whether several of his close political affiliations, party members came to also support him. What we do know and what has been circulating in social media is several photographs of the former president with correctional facility staff. These have been on social media, on Twitter, on Facebook. We've seen this coming up. We've also seen the Justice Minister Ronald Lamola also coming out and lambasting many people that have been sharing this, saying this is against the POPI Act, the Personal Prevention Protective Act, saying that one cannot distribute any inmate, one cannot distribute any person without, or photographs without their consent, and calling on for the members of the media as well as the public to refrain from distributing this. There's not yet certainty whether former President Jacob Zuma is privy to this information and whether he knows that these photographs are circulating in and on social media. It remains to be seen, but we have seen the Justice Minister coming out strongly there. We as the SABC have also taken a stance, editorial stance, not to distribute those visuals of those photographs, because that is against the law, as against the POPI Act, and also it just is not right in terms of the correctional facilities and the way they handle things here. They do not want any photograph of any inmate, whether it was a former statement, distributed in and around social media. So that was what happened this better part of the afternoon with the information that has come to the fore. I did make mention of the fact that the MKMVA members, supporters were out in their numbers, very quiet here now. I'm sure many of them are actually tracking that vehicle, but we'll be bringing you all the latest and more with regards to this developing story. Flo.
All right, Jade, thank you very much for that. Certainly on our later bulletins, I'm sure you'll have more for us, and we'll certainly be crossing back to Estcourt Correctional Services later on in our later bulletins. Thank you, Jade. All right, that's Jade Lepolsa for us outside the correctional facility where the former president is indeed being held at this time. And of course, our breaking news story here on SABC News being that MKMVA veteran Carl Niehaus was taken away by police from just outside Estcourt prison, where him and a number of supporters of the former president were gathered outside there.